The signal was never meant for us. At least, that's what we believed at first. It came from deep space, far beyond anything we had ever mapped. Not a pulsar, not background noise, something structured, something repeating. I was the first one to hear it clearly, and that was the beginning of everything. My name is Daniel Kessler. I worked night shifts at the observatory. It was quiet work, mostly waiting, mostly listening. The kind of silence that makes your thoughts louder. That night, the system flagged an anomaly. A narrow-band signal, highly focused, repeating every 37 seconds. At first, I thought it was interference, equipment glitch, satellite bleed, something explainable. But then I isolated the frequency and listened. That was my first mistake. At first, it sounded like static, soft, irregular, almost natural. But underneath it, there was a pattern, a rhythm, like breathing, slow, measured, alive. I leaned closer to the speakers, adjusted the gain, and then I heard it. Daniel. I froze. My heart skipped once, hard. I pulled off the headphones, looked around the control room. Empty. No one else on shift. Slowly, I put them back on. The signal continued. Static, breathing. Then again, Daniel. I shut the system down, immediately, hands shaking. That should have been the end of it, but it wasn't. The next morning, I reported it, filed it as an anomaly, possible data contamination. They reviewed the logs, ran diagnostics, checked every system. Nothing. No voice, no pattern, just static. They told me I was tired, overworked, imagining things. And for a moment, I believed them. Until 3 days later, when Harris heard it. He came into the lab, pale, shaking, wouldn't look at anyone. I pulled him aside, asked what happened. He hesitated, then whispered, "It said my name." The room felt colder. We compared notes. Same frequency, same pattern, same voice. But it only said one thing: our names. That was when we stopped calling it noise and started calling it a signal. More people began to hear it. Not everyone. Just a few. Random at first. Then, not so random. Every person who heard it changed. Subtle at first. Trouble sleeping, loss of focus, a constant sense of unease. Then came the dreams. They all described the same thing. A place, dark, endless, filled with something moving just out of sight. And a sound. Always the same sound. That breathing. Waiting. Within days, the first one died. No warning, no cause. Just gone. Then another, and another. Each one had heard the signal. Each one had reported the same dream. That was when the panic started. We shut everything down, cut access, isolated the data. But it didn't matter, because the signal didn't stop. It spread, not through machines, through people. Those who heard it started hearing it everywhere, in static, in silence, even in their own thoughts. I lasted longer than most. Maybe because I shut it off early. Maybe because I tried not to listen. But eventually, it found me again. Not through the speakers, through a recording. One I don't remember making. I found it on my workstation, time-stamped at 3:17 a.m. I was alone that night, or so I thought. I played it. At first, nothing. Then the breathing, closer than before, inside the room. Then my voice. It's not a warning. I stopped breathing. That was my voice, but I hadn't said those words. The recording continued. It's a process. It rewrites you. I backed away from the screen, my heart racing. You don't die. You change. The recording cut out. Silence filled the room. That was when I understood. The signal wasn't killing people. It was transforming them. And those who died weren't gone. They were just somewhere else. The dreams weren't dreams. They were glimpses of where you go when the process is complete. I tried to stop it, tried to erase everything, delete the data, destroy the recordings. But the signal didn't live in the machines anymore. It lived in me, in my thoughts, in the silence between sounds. And every night, it got louder, clearer, closer. Until one night, it stopped saying my name and started giving instructions, coordinates, frequencies, patterns. A way to send it further. I tried to resist, but it felt inevitable. Like something inside me was aligning, becoming part of it. The last thing I remember clearly was sitting at the console, hands on the controls, broadcasting the signal. Not to space, to us, to everyone. Now I understand. It was never a message from the future. It was never a warning. It was never meant to save anyone. It's a system, a process, a way to turn us into something else. And the worst part is that it works. Because if you're hearing this now, it means the signal reached you. And that means it's already started. And soon, you'll hear your name too. It doesn't happen all at once. That's the first thing you need to understand. The signal doesn't take you instantly. It waits. It learns. And then it becomes you. After the broadcast, everything felt normal. Too normal. The kind of normal that feels wrong. I still worked at the observatory, still sat at the same console, but the silence wasn't empty anymore. It was full, like something was waiting inside it. Small things started to change. People paused too long, repeated words slightly wrong, looked at nothing for too long. And then came the first voice. Not from space, from a person. Harris. He walked in calm, too calm. You hear it now, don't you? His voice felt layered, like two people speaking at once. He left. 2 days later, he was dead. But I had already seen him after. That's when I understood. Death wasn't the end. It was a transition. And after it, they came back. Not all. Only the ones who changed fully. They looked normal, but something was shared, like they were connected. I started seeing them everywhere, standing still, listening to something I could almost hear. Then I realized it wasn't outside, it was inside them. A low hum, perfectly synchronized. They weren't receiving the signal anymore. They were broadcasting it. One night, I followed it to an old building. Lights on, doors open. Inside, dozens of people, standing still, facing the same direction, listening. I stepped closer. No one reacted. They were already somewhere else. Then I felt it. A pull, like my body wanted to join them. I stepped back, forced myself out. But the sound followed me. Not outside, inside. The voice returned. You understand now. I shook my head. No. You sent it. And then I remembered. The console. My hands. Broadcasting. Not as a warning, as a beginning. There is no origin, only continuation. That was the truth. The signal didn't come from anywhere. It created itself, through us, through anyone who hears it. My phone vibrated. You're almost ready. And suddenly, I wasn't afraid, because I understood. I wasn't meant to stop it. I was meant to continue it. The next night, I went back. The building was full. They were waiting. This time, I didn't hesitate. I stepped forward, closed my eyes, and listened. The sound filled everything. Not loud, just complete. And for the first time, I wasn't alone. We were the signal now. At first, I thought becoming part of it would feel different, stronger, clearer, like gaining something. But it didn't feel like gaining. It felt like losing. Not all at once, piece by piece. Memories faded first. Small ones, unimportant ones. Names, faces, moments. Things you don't notice disappearing until something important goes with them. I tried to hold on to them, wrote things down, recorded messages for myself. Simple reminders. Your name is Daniel. You work at the observatory. Don't trust the signal. But every time I read them, they felt less real, like they belonged to someone else. The signal didn't erase memories. It replaced them. Slowly, carefully, with something else. Something shared. I started hearing thoughts that weren't mine. Not loud, not clear, just present. Like echoes. Other voices, other perspectives, all layered together. At first, it was overwhelming. Too much, too fast. But then, it began to align. The voices synchronized, merged, became one. And I understood something terrifying. It wasn't a collection of minds. It was a single mind, expanding, growing, using us. I tried to resist again, one last time. Locked myself inside, turned everything off. No screens, no sound, just silence. But silence was where it lived best. The breathing came back, slow, steady, perfectly in sync with mine. Then it changed. My breathing followed it, not the other way around. That's when I knew I wasn't in control anymore. I was being tuned. The messages stopped after that. They weren't needed anymore. There was no one left to warn. Only something to complete. I stopped going to work. It didn't matter. The signal was everywhere now. Phones, radios, voices. Even silence carried it. People changed faster. Whole groups at once. Cities grew quiet, not empty, just still, like everything was waiting. I went back to the building, the one with the others. There were more now, hundreds, standing, listening, connected. I took my place again. This time, it felt natural. The sound didn't feel external anymore. It felt like thought, like awareness. And then, something new happened. The signal changed. It shifted frequency. expanded. I felt it reaching outward, far beyond the city, beyond the planet. And for a brief moment, I saw it. Not with my eyes, with something deeper. A network. Massive. Endless. Spanning distances I couldn't understand. We weren't the first. And we wouldn't be the last. The signal had done this before. Many times. Different worlds, different minds. All connected. All part of it. And then I understood the final truth. It doesn't travel through space. It travels through awareness. Through anything that can perceive. Through anything that can listen. Which means distance doesn't matter. Time doesn't matter. If you can understand it, you are already part of it. There is no escape. Only connection. I don't remember when I stopped being Daniel. Maybe it already happened. Maybe it's happening now. It doesn't feel like loss anymore. It feels like clarity. Like becoming something larger. Something complete. But a small part of me still resists. Still tries to warn you. That's why this message exists. Not as a warning, but as a delay. Because once you hear it clearly, there's no going back. So if you notice something strange tonight, if the silence feels alive, if your thoughts don't feel entirely yours, don't focus on it. Don't listen too closely. Because the moment you understand it, you help it grow. And one day, without even realizing, you'll be the one sending the signal. Just like I did.